at home after one more with the Giants here. The Diamondbacks have never swept a four-game series at AT&T Park, but they can sweep today. In fact, since this ballpark opened in 2000, the Giants have been swept in a four-game series here only one time. That was against Cincinnati 2 years ago. But today, Goldie and the Diamondbacks have the brooms out. It's D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. And good afternoon from AT&T Park. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume, Bob Brenly along the way. This is it, the series and the road trip finale. The Diamondbacks this afternoon have a chance to make it 4 in a row over the Giants and finish this 10-game road trip with an impressive 7-3 record. And Bob, I'm not sure that we can match what we saw last night from Bumgarner and Greinke, but the pitching matchup today has all the makings. Shelby Miller and Johnny Cueto.
Yeah, especially if Shelby can keep from dragging his knuckles on the mound. Reportedly, he is healed and ready to go today. They've tweaked his mechanics a little bit to hopefully avoid that problem once again, but it's rare in a series that you get back-to-back matchups of aces, and hopefully Shelby Miller will be up to the task today because Johnny Cueto has been really good for the Giants.
Yeah, you see Shelby's career record as both a Cardinal and a Brave against the Giants, 2-1 in 4 starts, an excellent 1.71 ERA. Cueto has been outstanding. He is 3-0. He pitched over the weekend at Dodger Stadium and gave up just 3 hits in 7 1/3.
Obviously a very good pitcher, but also a very entertaining pitcher. I think our fans are going to enjoy watching Johnny Cueto today. He'll do a full tee-on windup from time to time. At other times, he'll quick pitch. This is a guy that a couple years ago in 2014 led the National League in innings pitched and games started in strikeouts, won 20 games that season. He can be a really tough customer.
Bob, the batters for both teams last night really had to grind out at bats, fight for everything they could get against two very good pitchers, and now it's a short rest, one of the sleep-fast getaway day nights. And they're at it again with two very good guys here. What about the offense for both sides here this afternoon?
Well, we mentioned it before last night's game. With aces on the mound, you figured that both managers may be looking to play small balls, take your runs when you get them. Every base runner is going to be vitally important. I think the same thing goes today. A couple of changes in the lineup for Chip Hale. He may choose to play a little more small ball today.
And we'll have those lineups for you when we come back from here at AT&T Park. I love the smell of garlic fries in the morning. It smells like victory.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. By T-Mobile, get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money. Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Cox Gigablast. How will you live the gig life?
AT&T Park, San Francisco. Diamondbacks have won 4 straight, 5 of 6. Can they keep the run going and sweep the Giants? First pitch coming up on Fox Sports Arizona.
They've won 4 straight, 6-3 so far on this trip. Jody Jackson with you here. And Chip Hale talked about what's been the difference of late with the winning. He said, look, it's easy. Our starting pitching has been better. They've gotten great outings recently from Patrick Corbin and Robbie Ray, and last night from Zach Greinke. And now it's Shelby Miller's turn. And Chip said earlier today, win or lose, he feels it's important for Shelby to throw 100 pitches or so and really be able to give this team innings to keep that bullpen intact for heading home to Arizona for the homestand. And as for Shelby leaving in the 2nd inning during his start in San Diego, here's what Dave Stewart had to say about it.
I think a lot, and maybe too much, is being said about it. Before he scraped his hand on the pitcher's mound, that guy was the guy that I saw in Atlanta last year. I really liked what I was seeing, how he was going about his business, his tempo. The ball was coming out of his hands good. He was back to 95, 96 miles an hour. And there was just a different look in Shelby his last time out. The unfortunate thing is he got hurt.
Just watching his bullpen the other day and talking to Butch, he's staying more upright, which is something that he had been working on, and he was doing a really good job of it in his pin and the ball. We talked about Archie, sort of his ball at 94, 95 plays more like 97 because of the extension he gets. Well, Shelby has that same thing. When he stays tall, he gets that good extension out there. And we obviously don't want him to hit his hand on the ground, which is what ended his game in San Diego. He was not doing that the other day, so we just got to make sure his stride is correct, which he paces off now, and we should be okay.
Well, Shelby's made those adjustments. He's ready to go, as are the D-backs here for day baseball. Johnny Cueto, Shelby Miller, that matchup coming up next here on Fox Sports Arizona. First pitch right around the corner with Steve and Bob.
and overcast by the bay in San Francisco. It's getaway day for the D-backs, the series and road trip finale. From AT&T Park, Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly, and Jody Jackson with you. D-backs today can make some history. It would be a 4-game sweep. Only once in the history of this ballpark, which is now 16 years old, have the Giants ever been swept in 4 here. That was the Reds, June of 2014. Chip Hale's Diamondbacks today can make it 5 in a row and get their first ever 4-game sweep here in this ballpark.
Yeah, a couple of expected changes. Day game after a night game for Chip Hale and the Diamondbacks. Gene Segura leading it off today at shortstop. Jake Lamb at third base. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. David Peralta, after getting hit by a pitch on the right forearm last night, right back in the lineup in right field. Yasmani Tomas in left. Phil Goslin at second base. Chris Owings out in center field. Chris Herman doing the catching for right-hander Shelby Miller.
And Chip Hale's ball club has historically played very well here. Diamondbacks have won 11 of their last 13 games in this ballpark. And the offense has not quite been there for most of this road trip. Goldie slumping a bit. It's been a quiet trip for David Peralta. But, Bob, they have somehow found a way to win much more than lose.
Well, it takes more than 1 or 2 guys to carry an offense. And some of the other guys have stepped out. In our Valley Honda key to the game today is break out the brooms. As you mentioned, only 1 4-game sweep in this ballpark. That was the Reds back in 2014. Diamondbacks a chance to do it here today.
And they would finish the 10-game road trip 7-3. And as you said last night, hey, so far this is great, but now it's time to get greedy.
Get greedy. Yeah, you come into this series thinking, boy, if we can split with the Giants at their home ballpark, that'd be pretty good. And you end up winning the first 3 games of the series. Now you get greedy. You want all 4 of them before heading home. Take on the Pirates and the Cardinals.
Yeah, carry some momentum into a big homestand. Pirates in for 3 this weekend. Don't forget A.J. Pollock bobblehead day is Saturday, fans. And then the Cardinals in for 4. And then another shot at those Colorado Rockies the 29th through May the 1st. So a long homestand when we get back to Chase Field. dbacks.com/tickets. Join us and get on the bandwagon, because this thing has started rolling on the road here.
It really has. A couple of potential playoff teams rolling in Pittsburgh and St. Louis, and then you know the D-backs want to get back at the Rockies after that opening series this year. Giants take the field, and Johnny Cueto waddles out to the mound.
Well, his wallet is fat, certainly. He is your Arizona Ford starting pitcher, coming off an outstanding start in a win over the Dodgers Saturday that ran his record of 3-0. He has won every start. He's gone at least 7 innings every time out. He is fun to watch. Facing him, though, not so much, Bob. So how do you deal with all the different looks he gives you?
You just have to be ready. When you step in that batter's box, you have to assume that he may quick pitch the moment your feet touch the dirt. I mentioned in the open of the show, he'll use a Louis Tiant windup from time to time, turn his back on the hitter, face the scoreboard out in center field before delivering. At other times, he'll get his sign from the catcher and just step and throw. It took a while for the Giants defensively to understand Johnny Cueto's MO out there on the mound, and they too have to be ready every pitch.
Yeah, despite all the action out there with the spinning and the twisting and the whirling and the whole thing, he works very fast.
Yeah, very quick between pitches. This is the defensive lineup behind Cueto today. Angel Pagan in left, Denard Span in center. Hunter Pence back in the lineup in right field. Matt Duffy and Brandon Crawford on the left side. Joe Panik and Brandon Belt on the right side, with Trevor Brown filling in for Buster Posey today, and right-hander Johnny Cueto on the mound.
Our Eye on Defense brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers. Pat Hoberg is our plate umpire this afternoon. Little cool, not too bad though. Overcast by the bay. And we are set to go as Gene Segura leads it off. The Diamondbacks going for the 4-game sweep of the Giants. So settle in and spend the afternoon with us on Fox Sports Arizona. First pitch swinging is fouled away, and it's quickly 0-1.
Yeah, a little precipitation this morning, although they would tell you it's liquid sunshine here in the Bay Area, but it did sprinkle a little bit this morning. The grass in the outfield might be a little damp.
Segura 317. He's got 3 home runs. Oh, 0-2. Reaches out and dunks it into right field. Segura's aboard a leadoff single.
Good start. Using full Tiant, pretty much that whole at bat to Gene Segura. Boy, that's a nasty pitch. A slider just off the outside corner. Trevor Brown was ready to block it. Gene Segura made sure he didn't.
Back in the 2-hole this afternoon, the red-hot Jake Lamb, who's now at 302. 9 extra base hits, including 2 home runs, and he's knocked in 10.
You know, it's one thing to be hot and get base hits, you know, a jam shot that rolls through or a blooper that drops in. But Jake Lamb has been squaring up everything he swings at lately. It's been fun to watch.
What has worked for him exactly?
I think it's between the ears. I think it's mostly between the ears with these guys. When you get in a hot streak, it just kind of feeds on itself. Your confidence level goes up. The pitcher seems to slow down. Everything seems to be working in your favor, as opposed to when you're struggling and the game really moving fast and everybody's throwing nasty pitches every pitch. Jake just swinging that bat with a lot of confidence right now. I think he likes his 2 spot.
It's a good fit. Chip Hale certainly likes him there with Segura aboard at first base. You can see Brandon Belt holding the runner on the bag, so that creates all that extra room on the right-hand side of the infield for the left-hand hitting Lamb. But he's not hitting anything through the infield, as you noted. Everything has been down the lines, in the gaps. Barreled up. 1-1 pitch. 2-1. Jake has 5 hits in this series, all of them for extra bases. 3 doubles, a triple, and that dramatic home run on Monday that tied it in the 9th inning. And what a, I don't even want to say a game changer, just a series changer that was for Jake and the Diamondbacks. Lifted in the air for Denard Span in center field. And that's the first out. Does it change, Bob, at all what Cueto might do if you can get base runners on base? I would imagine that would cut down on the spinning and the twisting and all that other stuff.
Yeah, he's a little more consistent out of the stretch position. You'll notice that after he gets his sign from Trevor Brown, how he drags that ball up his right leg and up to his midsection and then tucks it into the glove. He really does a nice job of hiding the baseball early in his delivery. But yeah, I think if you put him in the stretch all the time, it kind of limits the freelancing that he can do out there on the mound, and that's when he's the most comfortable. And just a quick slide step that time out of the stretch. Boy, and despite all the changes in his mechanics and the spin move and the quick pitch, this is a strike thrower. This guy doesn't walk hardly anybody. So far this season, in 21 1/3 innings pitched coming into today, 19 punch-outs against only 4 walks.
Yeah, his previous start Saturday in Los Angeles, he just dominated the Dodgers, spotting that fastball, very precise location. Velocity up consistently mid-90s. That one is by Goldie when it's 1-2. And the LA hitters couldn't do anything with Cueto last time out. He's won every start he's made this year.
Yeah, despite the start before against the Dodgers, he gave up 6 runs on 10 hits in 7 innings, but the Giants scored 9 in that game to get him a victory.
Diamondbacks trying to get Goldie going here. It's been a quiet road trip for Paul. He's 5 for 30 at the plate. And Chip told us yesterday, Diamondbacks just have to be patient. Goldie has to be patient because, as Chip said, he thinks sometimes Goldie gets more frustrated than anyone else when he's not doing Goldie things all the time. This does get a piece to stay alive.
Yeah, we've seen some signs of that frustration after grounding out in the first game of this series. He slammed his helmet down past first base. We've seen the expression on his face and his body language on some of the swings he's taken recently. Just a little bit out of sync, but hey, he's Paul Goldschmidt.
8 games on the trip, 1 extra base hit. That was the home run in the first game on the road trip last Tuesday in LA. He bangs that one down the left field line and just pulled it foul.
I mean, even for an accomplished hitter like Paul Goldschmidt, when you get into a little bit of a funk like this, you wonder if you're ever going to square up a ball again. But all it takes is one. have that timing perfect. Everything comes together perfectly. Get on the guy's fastball and hit it hard somewhere, and suddenly it all comes back to you.
Well, he says he's hit some balls hard at some guys, but there have been some pitches that he's chased out of the zone. Also missed that were in the zone, but he believes overall his at-bats have been pretty good lately. And for Paul, that is always the goal. Have good at-bats. 2-2. Segura wanders off the bag. Trevor Brown throws down there, but he's back in time.
And that ball in the dirt, the base runner is always going to take an extra step on that secondary lead. You can see Segura took that one last big step to the right before diving back in underneath the tag.
And this is a good Paul Goldschmidt at bat. Pitch number 8 coming up from Johnny Cueto. David Peralta on deck. 2-2. That is a fair ball down the left field line. It's by Matt Duffy. Segura comes in at third. Matt Williams going to wave him home. And he will score an RBI double for Goldie, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks.
That might be the one. It's in jump started. Big early run in this ball game against Johnny Cueto. Middle of the plate fastball, a little topspin grounder, but shot by Matt Duffy down into that left field corner. Good send by time by Matt Williams. We mentioned the wet grass possibly in that outfield, and that throw back in from Angel Pagan. Short hop Brandon Crawford. He couldn't get a handle on it, and Segura scores without a throw.
Good way to get to Johnny Cueto. A run on the board in the first. Still only one out. And here's Peralta, who took one on the forearm late in the ball game last night, but is apparently just fine.
Yeah, no matter what Goldie's numbers are, if you go talk to opposing managers, they still treat him like Babe Ruth.
Oh, I bet.
You know, it doesn't matter if he's in the midst of an 0 for 15 slump, hasn't put a ball in the outfield in a week. They know that he is due to break out at any minute.
1-1 on Peralta, who had a 6-game hitting streak snapped last night. He's at 279 for the year.
That's what gets managers in trouble. You know, you get a guy like Goldie or like Buster Posey that maybe not swinging the bat quite as well as they usually do, and you decide to go ahead and pitch to him with runners in scoring position and a base open.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah, and then they hurt you.
That sounds like a lesson you may have learned the hard way once or twice.
Yeah, well. It didn't take long to figure it out, though. I talk about it all the time coming in here to San Francisco back in the day playing against Barry Bonds. We finally got to the point where if Barry could hit a home run and either tie the game or give the Giants a lead, we walked him. Just take the bat right out of his hands.
Cueto strikes out Peralta. 2 down.
Maybe chased a pitch out of the zone. I'm not quite sure yet with Pat Hoberg.
There hasn't been an incident yet anyway. But then again, we just started.
Yeah.
Yasmani Tomas, El Tanque, 292. He's homered twice. And last night, it's funny with Tomas, Bob, 2 nights ago against Matt Cain, his first 2 at-bats were outstanding. He worked the count full both times, took a pair of walks. And then last night he was chasing pitches up around his throat. So you never know what you're going to get here. This is rolled on the ground, right to Panic at second. They strand Goldie, but the Diamondbacks are on the board. The RBI double for Paul Goldschmidt. And here comes Shelby Miller. has given the Diamondbacks the lead over Bruce Bochy's Giants, who are reeling right now. They have lost 4 straight games in 7 of their last 8.
Yeah, Boch didn't look real happy down in his office this morning, but as we all know, one game can cure that. Hopefully that'll be tomorrow. Denard Span leading it off once again in center field. Joe Panik at second base. Hunter Pence back in the lineup in right field after a pinch hit appearance last night. Brandon Belt at first. Brandon Crawford at short. Angel Pagan out in left field with Matt Duffy at third. Trevor Brown doing the catching for right-hander Johnny Cueto.
Your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the D-backs, Shelby Miller, the 25-year-old right-hander. He had to leave his start in San Diego early Saturday after scraping his hand on the pitcher's mound during his follow-through. Had some cuts on his right index finger.
100th career start for Shelby Miller. He's got good numbers against the Giants in 4 career starts. He's 2-1 with an ERA of 1.71.
Denard Span leads it off for San Francisco. Span in there at 233. He was 1 for 4 last night.
And we'll keep a close eye on Shelby Miller and see if we notice any difference in his delivery. They're trying to get him to stand more upright on the mound, avoid scraping his knuckles again.
Well, we heard Dave Stewart on the pregame show with Jody Jackson, and Stu said that the Shelby Miller they saw in that first inning at San Diego over the weekend was the guy they had seen in St. Louis and Atlanta. The velocity was up. That fastball was rising up and in on the right-hand hitters. It was a little glimpse, but that's the guy that they traded for.
Powering that high 4-seam fastball.
And behind on Span, 3-0. Well, it's a 4-pitch walk from Shelby to start the ball game. This is what happened at Petco Park over the weekend. Overextending maybe, and there goes the pitching hand right on the mound there. And everything at that point pretty much came to a stop for Shelby Miller.
He started having some bleeding out of those 2 knuckles on his index finger, kept wiping them on his pants. Tried to stay in the ball game, but it was obviously affecting his delivery out there on the mound, and Chip had no choice but to take him out.
That turned into a long night, too, for the Diamondback and the bullpen. Joe Panik. Here goes Span. He got a great jump, and Herman has no throw. 3rd stolen base of the year for Denard Span.
That was very similar to a Dave McKay-induced stolen base. Denard Span just took off while Shelby Miller was still standing on the mound. Wise choice by Wellington Castillo, not even to risk a throw that time.
So Span's at second. And
Chris,
no 1 count on Joe Panik.
Chris Herman doing the catching today, pardon me.
Play on at second. Segura in there at shortstop, sneaking in behind Span. Nick Ahmed has the day off today. With Phil Gonsolin at second and Herman behind the plate. Panik comes in with a 6-game hitting streak. He's at 254. Bunt takes a strike. It's 0-2. Joe Panik has 1 hit in every game in this series. He doubled last night. Homered Monday here off Archie Bradley. .96 miles an hour, misses inside, and it's 1-2. That's the velocity that you're looking for with Shelby. Consistent mid-90s. Two and two. Denard Span has reached base safely in his first AB in 3 of the 4 games in this series, but he has yet to score a run in that frame, and he's standing at second with nobody out and a 2-2 count on Joe Panik. D-backs a 1-0 lead on a Goldie RBI double. Shelby Miller reaches up and snares it. Span moves into third, and that's the first out. Take a look at our Eye on Defense, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Tomas Owings and Peralta once again left to right across the outfield. It'll be Jake Lamb and Gene Segura on the left side of the infield today, with Phil Gosselin and Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. Chris Herman doing the catching for right-hander Shelby Miller.
And back in the starting lineup this afternoon for Bruce Bochy is Hunter Pence. Span at third, 1 out. And Pence in there at 241. He's homered twice. Is there a part of Hunter Pence's game that you especially admire?
Oh, just his perseverance, his persistence. He just gets after it every pitch of every game. Once they play that national anthem until they tell him to go home, he is a max effort guy in everything he does. We talk about it with Goldie all the time. What a great example he sets for the young players. If you play for the San Francisco Giants and you don't run everything out hard and you don't back up bases, this guy's going to get on you. He gets after it every day.
I remember those motivational speeches he used to give in the dugout when he first came to San Francisco. Infield in for the Diamondbacks. Try and cut down that run at the plate. Ball and a strike on Pence.
I think there's a certain type of player that can excel in this environment here in San Francisco, and Hunter Pence is one of those guys. He marches to his own drummer. He's a little bit off center, and the fans love guys like that here in San Francisco.
It has been a perfect fit. Missed upstairs at 95. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And also, we were talking last night about, this is not a fundamentally sound swing at the plate. You wouldn't teach a little leaguer, hey, watch Hunter Pence and hit like he does. This works for him. I doubt if it would work for anybody else, but as awkward as it looks at times, he gets the barrel on the ball consistently.
But he does, it seems, everything awkwardly. He runs weird, he throws weird, he hits weird, but it all works. And they need him to stay healthy in this lineup. They really missed him last year. He was held to just over 50 games with a variety of injuries. And when the Giants had Pence healthy last year, they were 34-17 in games he started. So he is an enormous difference maker for them. 2-2 pitch. Got him. Shelby Miller blows it by at 95. A big out number 2 for Shelby.
Elevated fastball, maybe inside off the plate just a little bit. Just powers it right by Hunter Pence.
That's what we saw in the first inning in San Diego. What Dave Stewart was talking about right there. And now with 2 down, the Diamondbacks will put the shift on for the left-hand hitting Brandon Belt. And a rough night last night, 0 for 4. He punched out 3 times. He's at 281 on the year. Miller trying to strand that runner at third. The Giants have scored a first inning run only 3 times in 16 games this year. Trying to keep that trend going.
He had a good opportunity to do that last night. Denard Span led it off with a single. Joe Panik walked, but then Zach Greinke mowed down the side, got Posey to fly to right, and back-to-back strikeouts to get out of the inning.
Fly ball left field. Yasmani Tomas coming in, looking up into that sky, and Shelby Miller works around the leadoff walk. He leaves Span at third and keeps it a 1-0 D-backs lead.
first run of the game. The Diamondbacks up 1-0 as we head to the top of the second. Hey fans, a D-backs home run today means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack-in-the-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Sun is trying to peek through the heavy cloud cover here. AT&T Park in San Francisco. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly, and Jody Jackson with you as Phil Gosselin leads off the Arizona second against Johnny Cueto. And Phil has had it rolling lately, batting just under 370 with a home run. And there's a strike on one. He homered Sunday at San Diego. Phil right now with 6 hits in his last 10 at bats. He's got a little more playing time lately, and it's seemed to make all the difference in the world for Phil Gosselin.
It makes all the difference in the world for a lot of guys who find themselves on the bench at the beginning of a lot of ball games. He's going to be counted on situations just like this, day games after night games. If somebody needs a little bit of a rest in that middle infield, pinch hit opportunities, you got to get him some regular at bats along the way. So when you do put him in there on a day like this, you can expect something offensively.
Brandon Drury sitting out today, and like Brandon, Phil can play second, he can play third, he can play corner outfield, he can find some spots for his bat out there defensively. Off the glove of Cueto, but it rolls right to Panic. One away, 3 in a row set down by Cueto since the Goldie RBI double.
Very fortunate carom for the Giants that time, off of Johnny Cueto and right to the second baseman.
One away for Chris Owings back in center field. CO in there at 250. Johnny Cueto, a whirling dervish out there, spinning, twisting, turning, quick pitching. He said he likes to get creative and invent when he's on the mound, keep everybody off balance. Kind of makes it up as he goes along.
Against everything that we hear from most pitchers that try to get consistent with their mechanics to the point where they just grind on those mechanics, he doesn't worry so much about it. Get the ball to home plate somehow, and so far the results have been really good.
And despite all the spinning and the twisting and the whole thing, there is very little time in between pitches with Johnny Cueto. You can't really adjust to what he's showing you out there. Duffy at third, spins and throws. 2 down. You can't stand there and try and figure out his look, all right, what might be coming next. He's like a jazz record that just kind of spins off the turntable. He works very quickly and keeps that pace going. And that seems to make him even more, Bob, difficult to solve.
Yeah, you just you have such a hard time as a hitter getting into a rhythm. You know, every pitcher has, most pitchers, not Johnny Cueto, but they have a windup that's very consistent. And as a hitter, you can get in sync with that windup and your approach as a hitter. Johnny Cueto doesn't allow you to do that. Quick pitch there, first delivery to Chris Herman.
Chris 1 for 17 to start the year with 6 strikeouts. A ball and a strike.
And this is something that Johnny actually works on. I watched him throw his side session earlier in this series, and he was quick pitching, and he was doing the Tiante. He was doing it all down there, just throwing between starts.
1-2. Yeah, it's something of an ode to the great El Tiante. Louis Tiant, the great Indians and Red Sox pitcher. He used to do that back in the 60s and 70s, the full spin. Oh, the quick pitch right there. And he missed with it. He'll sort of fake and give you, it's almost like a running back trying to dodge a tackle. He'll give you that little wiggle, and then you think he's going to go for the full spin, and then suddenly it's in there, quick pitch.
And throws a changeup out of the quick pitch. You know, a lot of times if a hitter sees that pitcher jumping at him the way Cueto does, you have a tendency to speed up your swing. And then he throws a straight changeup.
Fly ball that's carrying out to left center field, but Span is there. And he runs it down. 5 in a row set down by Johnny Cueto. Diamondbacks lead the Giants 1-0.
the second inning. And one thing that Shelby's been working on with his mechanics with pitching coach Mike Butcher, actually the start of his delivery, Mike Butcher told me today they're working on him keeping that tension out of his right shoulder. He's kept it up. He needs to kind of relax it, keep it down. That's part of what they talk about with staying tall. It's part of just the start of the entire motion of the delivery. So after that leadoff walk to Denard Span, he retired the next 3 batters. And Butch also talked about, look, he's just got to get in that rhythm, keep going what he had going in San Diego, and guys, what we saw here at the end of the first inning.
Yeah, after a leadoff walk to Span, Jody, he got Paddock, Pence, and Belt, and now he'll work to Crawford, Pagan, and Duffy, 5, 6, and 7 in the Giants' second. Brandon Crawford really slumping right now. He's down to 216 for the year. Crawford last night 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. He has got just 1 hit in this series and has struck out 7 times. And just like the leadoff man in the first, Denard Span, who walked, Miller is behind the leadoff man in the second, 2 balls and no strikes. That sun is trying to come out, lightening up just a little bit here. Missed badly there, and it's 3-0.
This is a day for the flip downs. A lot of clouds in the area rolling through, but when those clouds clear out, the sun shines brightly, and then 15 seconds later, it's dark again.
In there for a strike, 3-1. Imagine it's got to be tough to play in a day like this. It changes every minute or so. This is deep to center field. Chris Owings is there. CO runs it down in the gap. Nicely done.
Well, fortunately, the angle of that ball off Brandon Crawford's bat, CO didn't need his sunglasses on that one. Got a nice jump on that ball. A lot of room to cover in that gap in right center in this ballpark. And CO gets there in plenty of time.
Triples alley, that little corner in there in right center field has been busy this whole series.
You know, and the Giants and most visiting teams choose to play their right fielder over toward that gap, even against a left-handed pull hitter. If the guy pulls one right down the line here, it's only 309 directly down the line, so it's probably only going to be a double.
Owings one more time coming in this one, and he retires Pagan. 2 quick outs for Shelby, who set down 5 in a row since the leadoff walk.
Center field looking back toward home plate here at AT&T Park. Most teams choose to cheat that right fielder a little bit toward that triples alley to take away the triple. And if, like I said, if a guy hits one down the line, it's probably a sure double anyway.
Here's the third baseman, Matt Duffy. Duffy hitting just under 220. He was slumping so badly, got a night off from the starting lineup Monday. But the bat has shown some signs of life again the last few days, coming off back-to-back 2-hit games. 1-1. That wind is blowing hard across the outfield, right to left. Getting more and more sunshine now. Look out, up and in.
Boy, this is head high.
Well, look where Herman sets up too. That's about as big a miss as Shelby can throw.
That's another one of those ones we were talking about earlier on this road trip. The hitter had to go matrix right there. That looked like it was going to hit right on the insignia on the front of that helmet, but somehow Duffy was able to turtle his head down into his shoulders and just missed him.
Thank goodness. 2-1. Same spot here. Left that one up. And Duffy fouled it back, 2-2.
If there is such a thing as a normal wind in the San Francisco area, this is it here at AT&T Park. Most of the time it blows from the right field corner toward the left field corner. Comes right underneath the 3rd Street Bridge out there and blows right across the ballpark. Although in this series we've seen those flags going every which way.
Boy, Shelby is really missing high with that fastball here. And it's full count, 3-2.
You know, anytime a pitcher starts to tweak his mechanics out there on the mound, you go through a stage where you're thinking too much about your mechanics and not as much about just executing the pitch. And I'm sure Shelby's got a little bit of that going on here today.
Center field. And that's a 2-out single for Matt Duffy. First giant hit this afternoon.
Chris Owings out in center field, choosing to be safe rather than sorry. Started to come in on that ball, wasn't sure he could get there in time. And if he doesn't get to this ball and it rolls behind him, Duffy ends up on 3rd base. So probably did the right thing there with 2 outs in the inning. Back off the ball, play it on a hop, and hold Duffy to a single.
And now they'll work to the 8th place hitter, the catcher Trevor Brown. Buster Posey getting the afternoon off. Brown 6 hits in 17 at bats, including 3 home runs. He struck out against Brad Ziegler to end last night's ball game. You stopped by Bruce Bochy's office this morning, didn't you?
Yeah, I like to check in on Boch every time we come to town. Also went down there to see their clubhouse attendant emeritus, Mike Murphy. I've talked about Murph every time we come to town. He has been with the Giants organization since they came west. He was a bat boy in 1958 over at Old Seal Stadium and still works for the ball club to this day.
How's he holding up?
Oh, he's doing great. Murph's always doing great. I don't bother nobody. That's his saying. I don't bother nobody.
Well, while you were down there, did you get to see the elk head that we've heard so much about in Bochy's office?
Yes, I did. There's a picture that Jody took the other day. He uses it as a hat rack for his cowboy hats, but yeah, he said he got it up in Oregon, I believe he said, and his buddy surprised him, threw it in the back of a pickup truck, had it mounted, ready to go, and parked out in front of Boch's condominium with this big old elk head in the back of a pickup truck. And Boch said, "Hey, you're not in the backwoods of Oregon here. This is a very liberal town. You better bring that on up here just so the people don't start complaining."
2-0. Keeping Chris Owings busy out there. And CO has it in the gap. We are through 2. The Diamondbacks lead the Giants 1-0.
For the only run of the game so far, they lead the Giants 1-0 as we head to the top half of the third inning. Time to take a look back in history, presented by Geico, the first ever American League game played in Texas. The transplanted Washington franchise, managed by the splendid Splinter, Ted Williams. They're now known as the Rangers. They beat California 7-3 in that ball game.
A couple of Texas teams right there. Shelby Miller leads off the third against Johnny Cueto. Quick pitch to start him off, and then strike one. Cueto was set down the last 5 in a row. Diamondbacks have a 1-0 lead. A single by Segura to lead off the ball game, followed by a Goldie RBI double. This is rolled to Crawford at shortstop. Johnny Cueto today a chance to become the first Giants pitcher to win his first 4 starts with the team since Billy Swift in 1992. So he is making quite a historic impression here.
Yeah, Billy Swift went on to win 20 games that year along with teammate John Burkett. 2 20-game winners on that team.
Chases the first pitch and knocks it out to second for Panic. 2 down, 7 straight set down by Cueto since the Goldie double. Here's Jake Lamb, who flied out his first time up. So Cueto, so far, more than earning his money. He's got a World Series ring on his finger with the Royals last year. Remember, he worked a complete game 2-hitter in game 2 against the Mets, and now in his age 30 season, he's a Giant. And he got a 6-year, $130 million deal, the most expensive free agent contract in Giants history. Interesting thing about Cueto's deal, he does have an opt-out clause after next season, so he can make even more money when next season is over if he pitches well. That is slammed toward the right field corner, and it's high off the wall, a fair ball, another barreled up baseball off the bat of Jake Lamb. And boy, Hunter Pence did a tremendous job to get that one back into the infield and keep it a single.
You know, for years they've said that Wrigley Field is the toughest right field in the National League. I'm not so sure that this ballpark shouldn't win the honor. All kinds of different surfaces out there in right field, and Hunter Pence plays this one perfectly off those bricks, fields it on a hop, spins and throws, holding Jake Lamb to a single. That's a nice play.
That ball was smoked, too.
I mean, there's chain link, there's padded fence, there's concrete, there's tin up on top of that Levi's landing out there.
There goes Jake Lamb, the speedster. The throw from Brown is into center field. And Jake, who got a little tied up with Panic there, will have to stay put at second base. A stolen base for Jake Lamb, his second this year.
Boy, that was a very late slide. Looked like Jake really hit the bag hard. He's just running crazy out there on the bases. Yeah, the throw got there about the same time as Jake. He got tangled up with Joe Panic out there.
I think his foot hit Panic's glove.
Hopefully everybody okay right there. That could be very dangerous, running full speed and then having an awkward slide like that as you hit the ground.
Pitch to Goldie was a strike. He had the RBI double to drive in the game's only run so far. He's got another RBI spot right here. Get down ball, and it will. It's in front of Pence. Matt Williams waving Lamb home. Here's the throw, and it's cut off. They have Goldie hung up. The run scores, and it's 2-0 Diamondbacks. Goldie with 2 outs trying to keep that thing going, but there was plenty of time for Lamb to get home with a second Diamondback run. As we start the home half of the third at AT&T Park. Hey, fans, don't miss the D-backs and Pirates at Chase Field this weekend. Saturday, April 23rd, you can pick up the A.J. Pollock bobblehead. There he is, recreating his catch in the exact same spot, center field here in the ballpark.
Nice.
It's courtesy of Arizona Sports 98.7 FM. Secure tickets now at dbacks.com. I went out there with a bobble the other day, and he's like, oh, let me show you. I was like this. And I'm like, I know I was there. No, one more time. I kind of jumped up. I get it. Can we go now? I mean, it just went on and on.
So demanding.
Johnny Cueto leads off the third. A.J. Pollock bobblehead day coming up on Saturday at Chase Field. dbacks.com/tickets. If there's a Jake Lamb bobblehead, and maybe there will be next year, maybe they'll recreate the slide we just saw Jake turn in at home plate, which may have been one of the worst in baseball history.
Yeah, if he's going to be a base stealer and score a lot of runs, he's got to work on his slides. He slides late once again and hits right on home plate.
Oh, man.
He got a little laugh about it. He knows he's going to get it when he gets back to the dugout.
At least he didn't hurt himself. That was not good.
Just came down right on top of home plate, and as I was telling you, between innings, it's kind of a rubberized piece of plastic or whatever it is back there, and your pants just stick to it if you don't slide early and get some dirt underneath.
I mean, this is the only thing he's done wrong in the entire road trip. Wipeout. Yeah, it came down right on the plate.
Yeah.
And then it's all right.
I'll do it 2 or 3 more times today.
2-2 on Cueto, who leads off the Giant third. Now, when you turn in a slide like that, I imagine you hear about it from your teammates.
Oh, and in the days of, everything's on tape, everything ends up on YouTube. Oh yeah, he'll see that again many, many times.
Textbook.
Well, other than Gene Segura, all he's got to do is ask his teammates, how many runs have you scored today?
Exactly. 7th pitch of the at-bat to Johnny Cueto right here. And it's gone full 3-2.
Just off of the outside corner at 95.
And he walked the pitcher to lead off the inning. Second walk issued by Shelby Miller.
Second leadoff walk, including Denard Span to start the ball game. Man with fire.
And here is Span, who walked and stole a base, was stranded at third to end the first inning. I imagine that managers don't enjoy that when the pitcher walks the other pitcher.
Leading off an inning before the top of the order rolls around. No, that's not one of the more enjoyable things a manager will witness.
I can see after all this time the grumpiness still comes out. It's funny. You just poke the bear a little bit, you'll be pacing in the booth just like the dugout. Now the sun is coming out here, bright and sunny day. Some of the cloud cover is starting to blow away.
Yeah, especially given the fact Cueto is not really much of an offensive threat up there at the plate. His best chance of getting on base is bunting for a base hit, as we saw him show bunt a couple times in that at bat.
Goldie plays in front of the runner Cueto down there at first, and it's another ball from Shelby Miller, who's now thrown 40 pitches, and so far more balls than strikes. And he cannot find it right now. That's 1 out of the last 7 pitches for a strike.
This is one of those reset visits right here by Chris Herman. Just go to the mound. Shelby Miller, take a deep breath. Get your mind right. Back up on that bump and start throwing strikes.
Well, we heard Jody reference it earlier in the broadcast, and Chip Hale was telling us again yesterday they want Shelby out there to stand tall, stay more upright, because they think when he does that, he gets very good extension, and it gives that fastball a little extra jump, some hop to it. And it helps him locate better as well. He's not done that so far today. Missed again there, and it's 3-0.
First sign he shook his hand after that last pitch. Not sure if the finger is bothering him or just shaking out the rust.
He had cuts on both the knuckles of that right index finger when he scraped his hand on the mound in San Diego. It's another walk, his third of the ball game. Back-to-back walks from Miller open up the Giant third. And here comes Mike Butcher. This is Shelby's hand. This is earlier today, in fact. You can see some of the residual scraping there. That's the right index finger. He's faced 10 Giant hitters so far and gone to a 3-ball count 4 times. And speaking of time, Mike Butcher's is up, says Pat Hoberg. So here we go. First and second, no outs for the heart of the Giant order. Paddock, Pence, Belt coming up. Cueto, the pitcher, is at second, and Denard Span at first. Paddock tapped back to the mound his first time up.
When the timing of the walks couldn't be worse. 9-hitter and then the leadoff guy, and now you got to run through the thick of this Giants lineup.
Well, we'll see if he keeps looking down at that finger. Got some work to do here, trying to maintain a 2-0 lead. Strike one.
Talk about it all the time. Sometime when a guy is having trouble locating his fastball in the zone, the best thing to do is have him throw some of his secondary pitches. You miss so many times with that fastball, you start guiding it up there rather than just letting it go.
Could it be a case of letting things go mentally as well? He might still be upset with himself for walking the pitcher to lead off the inning.
That could be, but the pitcher has to have a real short memory. There's nothing you can do about the walk to Cueto or Span at this point. All you can do is execute good pitches to Joe Panik and hopefully get a ground ball right at one of your infielders.
There's a strike, 2-2. Really hard to strike Joe Panik out. Nice stop by Chris Herman back there. And it's another Full count for Shelby Miller.
Shelby really spraying them all over the place. Threw a couple of pitches up over the head of Matt Duffy in the last inning. Nearly flips Panic in the foot this time with a fastball.
He walked Cueto, he walked Span. Now it's 3-2 on Panic. Pitch number 50 on the way. Bullpen will get busy for the Diamondbacks. Tyler Wagner will start throwing, the rookie right-hander. It's behind Herman, and it's ball 4. He has walked the bases loaded to start the third. And something is clearly not right with Shelby Miller.
Yeah, we need somebody to go out there and stall for plenty of time, allow Tyler Wagner an opportunity to get loose out there in the bullpen.
Look, he's kind of moving that finger around on that hand, spreading his fingers out, feeling it. And you got bases full, nobody down for Hunter Pence. So they're in a big mess here. Wagner will get going. Ball 1. Cueto, the runner, at third. Denard Span at second, and Joe Panic at first. 4 walks for Miller, 3 in this inning. 1-1.
Cutter that time, behind in the count 1-0. Hunter Pence looking for that fastball. He can drive into the outfield. A good comeback pitch right there. I'm sure this is frustrating for Shelby Miller, but it's terrifying for Chris Herman. When you get a pitcher out there on the mound that obviously has something wrong, whether it's mechanical or physical or mental, and he starts spraying the ball around like this, you have no idea where the ball might go when it leaves his hand. You set up and give the target where you hope he throws the ball, but then you're ready to goalie up depending on where it ends up.
Bounce that one, and it's 3-1.
It's been a battle this inning. And hits just behind the plate that time. Herman able to block it, keep it in front.
He has faced 12 giant hitters and gone to 3-ball counts on 6 of them. Wagner continues to throw in the Diamondback bullpen. He almost scraped his hand again here.
You know, if you're thinking about not doing that, that has to alter your follow-through. If you have to think about that.
He has walked 4 in a row, and it's 2-1. And here comes Chip Hale. Well, you might be able to get away here, Bob, with an injury substitution, which would give Tyler Wagner all the time he needs to warm up. Check out that finger again. He just will take the baseball, and that's it. Giants have the bases loaded, nobody out or run in. Back after this. It's now a 2-1 ball game, and we believe that Shelby Miller may have scraped his finger on the mound again. The same thing he did over the weekend in San Diego. Right there's the reaction, and he went immediately to it. It's hard to tell because obviously his hand is moving so fast, but that's what it looked like after San Diego, and it may have gotten worse here. Either way, he certainly can't throw the baseball where he wants to. And so Tyler Wagner, the rookie right-hander, inherits a bases loaded, no out mess here in the third. And a work to Brandon Belts. Wagner called up from AAA Reno for emergency long man duty and delivered 2 innings of 2-hit ball in relief Monday in San Francisco, your Arizona Federal Credit Union pitching change. And he's got his work cut out for him right here. Talking about getting thrown in the deep end. Still no outs.
Damage control mode right here. Try to limit the damage that's already been done by the Giants. Not going to be easy. Like to get an infield pop-up or a strikeout right here and set up a possible inning-ending double play with Brandon Crawford at the plate.
It's a roller foul. Well, Tyler is a starting pitcher. He's been a starter his entire professional career in the Brewers minor league system, and he came in relief of Archie Bradley the other night, did a good job. 2 innings of 2-hit ball, so length is certainly not going to be an issue today.
And you can see from those highlights, everything moves. A lot of downward movement on his fastball, on his straight changeup. Looking for that ground ball right here.
And he gets it. Gosselin, Segura for 1, and they get 2, but Span scores and the game is tied.
Boy, Gene Segura needed every bit of that shortstop's arm to get that out at first base. Really came across the bag and fired a rocket over there to goalie to get the double play.
First crooked number the Giants have put up on the board in 26 innings. And now it's a 2-2 ball game. We'll start over with Joe Panik in third and 2 outs for Brandon Crawford. Tyler Wagner outstanding with the Brewers AA team last year in the Southern League, the Biloxi Shuckers, where he led the league with a 2.25 ERA in 25 starts. Made 3 major league starts last year for Milwaukee. And that was his first look at the big leagues. Two and 1. Fouled away, full count 3-2. Angel Pagan would be next.
See what kind of confidence Tyler Wagner has in that front door sinker. Everything has been middle of the plate, moving away from Brandon Crawford. Swung through one, just got a piece of another one. He could be set up for that sinker that starts off the plate inside and tails back over the corner.
Pulled foul down the right field line.
Unfortunately elevated just a little bit. That's what he was trying to do, but got the pitch up a little bit higher than he wanted.
Tyler Wagner throughout his minor league career has been a strike thrower. He's generally got pretty good command. Not a real hard thrower, low 90s, but that sinker is very effective when it's working. When he gets in trouble, he'll be leaving the ball up in the strike zone. Three and two. Along the left field line, Yasmani Tomas. Long run for Yasmani, and he can't get there. That wall comes at you fast down there.
Well, just a footnote on Shelby Miller. You really have to be concerned. Obviously, he's working on his mechanics, trying to stay more upright, trying to keep from hitting his knuckle on the mound, but he ended up doing it again today. You wonder if altering his mechanics and changing his delivery to avoid that might not cause problems somewhere else. Usually you fix one issue and another one will crop up. Hopefully that won't be the case.
Goldie at first. He calls off Wagner, and they strand Panic. But Shelby Miller walks 4 in the inning. 2 score, and we're all tied in San Francisco. Diamondbacks fans, we are excited to introduce 1893 from the makers of Pepsi Cola. It's a premium cola inspired by the original Pepsi recipes and features premium cola extract and fair trade sugar. Pick one up at your local retailer today. It's 1893 from the makers of Pepsi. David Peralta leads off the Arizona fourth against Johnny Cueto. 2-2 ball game now. Boy, Bob, what a job rookie Tyler Wagner did. He came into an absolute mess and got 2 ground balls.
Really did a nice job of damage control right there. That sinker, that's going to play well for him. You know, the roles in the bullpen change so much over the course of a season. And Tyler Wagner, if he can show that he can get that big ground ball with runners on base, he may find himself in more high leverage situations. Can't get any more high leverage than the one he was just in.
And Chip Hale was referencing that during spring training. He said Wagner's a sinker ball pitcher. Guess what? We like that here. It's going to be a nice addition. And they got the Diamondbacks out of a big mess. Could have been a lot worse. And we'll start over. Tie ball game, 4th inning. But now the concern is for Shelby Miller, his mechanics and his finger. And if the Giants in the home half of the 3rd get 2 runs without the benefit of a base hit, 4 walks in the inning.
This is a ball club, the Giants, that has really been struggling offensively as David grounds one to the right side to Panic. One down. They have really been struggling to string hits together and make things happen offensively, and 4 straight walks. That's instant offense.
Yeah, the Giants coming into the ball game today had produced only 2 runs in the last 24 innings. So you don't need to be giving them help. Yasmani Tomas grounded out his first time up. First pitch swinging, and it's in the seats out of play.
A little pause in the Tiante delivery that time. Kind of turned his back and then just stopped momentarily and then went on with his delivery to the plate. Just kind of hesitated there, turned around and looked Brandon Crawford in the eye and then delivered the ball to home plate. You know what they used to say about Tiant? At some point he will look everybody in the stands in the eye.
That was a great line from Joe Garagiola Sr. doing the 1975 World Series. Tomas gives this a ride way back, and that ball is gone. Boy, did he crush that one. Yasmani Tomas. Il Tanque his third, and it's 3-2 D-backs. That was a cannon shot out of here.
Was it ever? I mean, this is a big ballpark, and it plays big. And neither outfielder even moved on that ball. That is absolutely crushed. Middle of the plate fastball. Yasmani catches it out front, and that means Jumbo Jacks tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink at participating locations.
First home run given up this year by Johnny Cueto, and that thing was launched deepest part of the ballpark. His third of the year, all on this road trip. Boy, nobody's happier when he hits a home run than Yasmani Tomas. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Phil Goslin now.
Hopefully he'll have a lot more reasons to be happy moving forward. He has really been swinging it well on this trip.
With that power, it's in there. They've known that all along, and it's starting to come out. A little dribbler right to Duffy at third. He retires Phil Goslin for the second out in the fourth.
Oh, what a big momentum shifter, too. We talked about this Giants offense. They had to feel great putting a 2 spot on the board to tie the game, and Yasmani quickly gives the Diamondbacks a 1-run lead. I'm telling you, I've been down there in those dugouts. When you're struggling offensively and you finally score a couple of runs to tie up a game with your ace on the mound, you feel pretty good about yourself, and then he immediately gives up a home run.
CO sees Duffy back. He drops down a beauty. Whoa ball, Chris Owings, a bunt single here in the fourth.
Beautiful.
Nicely done, CO.
Beautiful. A little local knowledge. During batting practice, visiting teams will roll a ball down the first and third base line to see whether it's going to curl into foul territory or will it stay fair. And look at that ball stay fair the entire way down there. Just dies on the grass in front of Matt Duffy. Beautiful bunt.
Checked up perfectly. All he could do is try and pull a Lenny Randall at that point and blow it foul. Here's Chris Herman, flied out his first time.
Now Lenny said he was just talking to the baseball.
One of the great all-time characters, Lenny Randall. Chris trying to get the bat going. He's 1 for 18 to start the year. And he's already, I think, earned his money back there, trying to nurse Shelby Miller through a very bumpy third inning. Meantime, Cueto's been in the strike zone all day long. 55 pitches, 41 strikes. 2-1. Team Segura, Yasmani Tomas. Remember last time Yasmani hit his first one in San Diego, he was kind of doing that move that Gene was just doing there. Having some fun with Aero Prieto. It looked like he was on some kind of an elliptical machine trying to jump off. You know, when you turn it up to too high a speed and you help me. Somebody unplug this thing. And they pick off Chris Owings. Cueto's got him. Brian Knight says you're gone. Hold the phone here.
Got to take a look at this one.
Yasmani Tomas, while they look at this one, will enjoy the homer. Back after this, it's 3-2. Of the fourth inning, the Diamondbacks have an excellent case here, challenging the out call at first on Chris Owings. And from the replays we have seen during the commercial break, I think CO's back there.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what's taking so long. I mean, it seemed pretty obvious. Hands on the bag. Brandon Belt applied the tag to his rib cage after the hand was already on the base. At least it certainly looks that way.
Brian Knight, the first base umpire. On the headsets now to New York, along with crew chief Bill Miller, who's got third base this afternoon. And they are still looking.
Yeah, the umpire really has no alternative but to position himself where they do at first base with a runner on at first, but you could clearly see that he didn't see when the tag was applied.
Yeah, and there's no way he can.
No, Chris Owings' body was blocking Brandon Belt's glove. You couldn't really see when the tag was applied, but of course with the replay we were able to see it clearly.
Well, Johnny Cueto has a very tricky pickoff move. His final spring appearance this year, he picked off three guys.
You're kidding me.
But they looked at it, and Cueto gets credit for another pickoff. Owings is out. That ends the inning. So we'll take a break one more time, but the Diamondbacks have regained the lead. It's 3-2.
3-2 on the strength of a Yasmani Tomas home run. We head to the bottom half of the fourth. Hey, fans, join the D-backs for Throwback Thursdays at Chase Field, presented by Chase. Before each Thursday home game, fans can pick up a collectible poster. Next Thursday, April 28th, before the D-backs Cardinals game, there will be a commemorative poster celebrating the 2001 World Series championship. Only 4 posters remain this season. As always, visit dbacks.com/throwback.
Big homestand coming up, fans. Get your tickets, dbacks.com. Thursday the 28th, Diamondbacks and Cardinals, the finale of that 4-game series. Pirates in for 3, Redbirds for 4, Rockies for 3. A big homestand coming up at Chase Field, where we get back tomorrow night.
Yippee.
Finally. And now Tyler Wagner, Bob, after getting 2 critical ground balls to put out the fire in the third, is in line for his first major league win here. And we'll see how much he can give Chip Hale and take some of the pressure off that bullpen as Angel Pagan leads off the Giant fourth. Pagan lined out to Chris Owings in center his first time. And he hits it out to Co one more time, drifting over toward left center field now. That one got up in that wind. It's blowing across the outfield from right to left, and Co just a little hop step at the very end of that one. It got up in that wind, which, as you can see, is blowing pretty hard right now.
Yeah, and the sun is tough on the left side of the field right now. Yasmani Tomas coming over from left field after that baseball had to put up his bare hand to try to shield his eyes from the sun, and I don't think he ever did see it. Fortunately, Chris Owings right there to make the play.
Let's go downstairs to Jody.
Dave McKay today came in and was looking at the lineup. Who's in center? He said Chris Owings. I said, what do you think of Chris's play? He said he is saving us right now. Obviously, the situation with A.J. Pollock out. He loves what he's been able to do out there. He even mentioned yesterday on Gregor Blanco's triple, he said, look, we were giving him that. He doesn't hit the ball there typically. So he said, look, he got over there so quickly anyway. He said he's the quickest guy on the team, that first step, and he's extremely coachable.
Thank you, Jody. Here's Matt Duffy, who singled his first time up. Chip Hale mentioned actually back in the middle of March that some of the guys who had been here in the organization for a while before he got here sort of put that bug in the coach's ear. Hey, you know, Owings can play center field. He could go out there and do it if you needed him to. And, well, they did, it turned out.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But Chip said it was actually at that point back in the middle of March that the coaches really hadn't seriously thought about it because CO was busy competing for a middle infield spot. But neither Tony La Russa or Dave Stewart had suggested it, but Owings in center. It's come up in different meetings. Bill Gosselin can't make the backhand short hop, and Duffy has his second hit. It comes up in meetings because he's such a good athlete out there, and we've seen that this entire series. Tough play there for Gosselin, and it's a base hit for Duffy. He has both giant hits so far.
You know, especially the way spring training went. Gene Segura was getting 2 or 3 knocks every game. Nick Ahmed was red hot at the plate. It became pretty obvious early on that those two guys were going to man the middle infield position. So, you know, why not check out Chris Owings' versatility?
Trevor Brown, here's a guy that's played all over the field. Infield, behind the plate, catching with Buster Posey getting the day off today. Brown won the backup catcher's job this spring. He has been, for much of his collegiate and minor league time, a middle infielder. Played first base, second base, third base. And only in the last couple of years has been a full-time catcher.
Has to be encouraging for Bruce Bochy to see Matt Duffy with both giant hits in the game here today. He had been struggling mightily.
He began this series, Duffy, in a 4 for 34. But now has his third consecutive 2-hit game. Doubled twice last night. A ball and a strike on Trevor Brown. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Good changeup right there. Well, Wagner's got good stuff. As you mentioned, he's not overpowering, but boy, does he get movement on everything. Doesn't throw any pitches straight. Look at that bottom action on that changeup as it gets into the hitting zone.
Called strike 3. Pat Hoberg rings him up. First strikeout for Wagner. 2 down now in the 4th. And he'll work to Johnny Cueto.
Front door breaking ball this time. Probably not the location he was hoping to throw it, but got a good result nonetheless.
Tyler Wagner pitched collegiately at the University of Utah. As a freshman, he was a shortstop. Didn't get moved to the pitcher's mound until his sophomore year. And he said the problem was he couldn't hit. He was a lousy hitter, but he could field and throw. And he had a good arm, so they tried him out as the pitcher. And he wound up as Utah's closer. He was throwing mid-90s then. He actually set a school saves record at Utah. And when the Brewers drafted him, they made him a starting pitcher. Milwaukee got him with a 4th round pick in the draft in 2012. So as starting out as a shortstop, much like the Diamondbacks' Braden Shipley, he's a very good athlete out there. Moves around very well for a big guy, 6'3", 205. 1-2 on Cueto. He can really field his position.
Now, which will serve him well, throwing that heavy sinker, a lot of ground balls. Most guys that are sinker ball pitchers are good fielders out there because they know that there's a chance that ball's going to come right back to them.
Duffy at first. 2 outs, a ball and 2 strikes on Johnny Cueto. Reaches out and rolls it to Goslin at second base. Another ground ball out for Tyler Wagner, who strands the 1-out single. We head to the 5th. It's 3-2 Diamondbacks.
Half of the 5th. Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Diamondbacks trying to close out their first ever 4-game sweep of the Giants here at AT&T Park. And if they do, Tyler Wagner's going to get an award. He's been the savior so far, as the Diamondbacks, who have won 11 of the last 13 in this ballpark, try and close out what would be a 7-3 road trip. Johnny Cueto back out there for the Giants. It'll be Chris Herman, Tyler Wagner, and Gene Segura, 8-9-1 for the Diamondbacks. D-backs today looking for their 5th straight win. Nice to take a big winning streak into that long homestand.
Oh, yeah.
Got some good teams coming in. Pirates, Cardinals, Rockies. Like to get another shot at those Colorado guys.
Yes, indeed. Let's take care of the Pirates and Cardinals first,
right.
but yeah, you're right.
We owe them.
A little payback wouldn't hurt anything.
You know what they say about payback?
Yes, indeed.
She's not very nice.
Diamondbacks catch a little bit of a break in that Pirates series, missing Garrett Cole, who's starting for the Pirates today. Undoubtedly their best starter.
Yeah, that'll be, we start that tomorrow night. Patrick Corbin and Jonathan Neese, former Met great, in a matchup of left-handers. Saturday, Ruby De La Rosa, Juan Nicasio. Sunday, two more lefties, Robbie Ray and Francisco Liriano, as Herman strikes out. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. This is the starting pitching matchup tomorrow night. First of a long homestand that starts with 3 against the Buccos. Corbin and Neese. That's a 6:40 first pitch. Diamondback Live pregame show at 6 o'clock on Fox Sports Arizona. Diamondbacks so far have done a very good job, Bob, against Johnny Cueto, who has won every start he's made this year, but they've got 6 hits. They've scored 3 runs. Tomas took him deep for the first time all season. And so far, so good. And Wagner strikes out looking. 2 down in the 5th. Brings up Gene Segura. Cueto opened his year with a win at Milwaukee. Pitched well, 7 innings of 1-run ball. That was his Giants debut. And then was hit hard his second time out right here against the Dodgers. Trevor Brown will walk that one off. Dodgers got him for 6 runs on 10 hits in 7, but as Bob mentioned, they got all kinds of run support there and got the win in a 9-6 ball game.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Oh, not on the toe. Wow. Oh, I feel for you, Trevor.
You can't wear those big steel-toed shoes anymore, right?
I don't think it would help anyway. You can't move around in those things.
Yeah. Segura dunks one into right, his second hit today. He's 2 for 3, a 2-out single.
No pictures, just numbers. That abbreviated delivery got that ball in on the hands of Gene Segura, who just muscled it out there into shallow right field for his second hit of the game.
And here's Jake Lamb, who singled, stole a base and scored a run his last time up. He hit a laser high off the brick wall in the right field corner. And everything he's hit on this road trip has been a laser. And he's now hit safely in 5 straight. Had a pinch hit double in his only at bat last night. 11 hits on the road trip. 7 for extra bases. There's a strike, 1-1. Well, it's turned into a nice sunny day here. Most of the cloud cover's all but gone, and the wind has completely changed direction. Look at those flags in right center now. Well, one's blowing one way and the other's going the other way.
Not sure which way they want to blow.
Now it's back to normal. Good take by Jake, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. This was Jake Lamb. He's not exactly putting on a sliding clinic. That was the stolen base, and then watch this. Look out. Speed bump at home plate.
Maybe nobody noticed, Jake.
Yeah, probably not. Oh, wait, are we not supposed to show that? Well, Segura's not buying that Cueto fake over there. He's already picked off Owens at first base. Three and one. Boy, he has become such a patient hitter. Plate discipline is outstanding. 70 pitches for Cueto, 52 strikes. He's been in the strike zone all day. Goldie on deck. He's 2 for 2. Fly ball, left center field. Pagan looking up into the sun. Can he find it? He cannot get it. And it one-hops the wall. Gene Segura is going to have to go back to third. Lost it in the sun. You could tell from the first moment, Bob, he did not have it.
Yep. And that wind really carried that ball a long way. Takes him all the way back to the wall in left field. At the last minute, Angel Pagan decides to give up on that one rather than take it in the chops. Unfortunately, it bounces up and out. Gene Segura was going to score easily, but has to go back to third base on the book rule double.
And now you've got second and third, 2 down for Goldie with first base open and Peralta on deck. Goldie an RBI double in the first. RBI single in the third. Another extra base hit for Jake Lamb. Pops up the first one, foul ground. Belt coming over. Brown, who's got it? It's Brandon Belt. And a strand 2. Bottom 5 coming up. Diamondbacks lead the Giants 3-2. Major League win set for the bottom of the 5th. He came on in relief of Shelby Miller, who had a very rocky and short outing. He walked 4 in a row in that 3rd inning, and it looked like he scraped his hand on the mound again, just like he did last weekend in San Diego, and clearly that finger was bothering him. He couldn't throw a strike.
Yeah, it's just my own opinion, but you wonder if it might not be best for Shelby Miller to take a DL stint, let that finger heal up completely, and take that time to work on the mechanics that he tried to do between his last start and this start.
You've got Archie Bradley, who, got to start here Monday. Tyler Wagner's done a great job. Yohan Lopez continues to pitch well. Dave Stewart mentioned that, in fact, yesterday. All those guys are options. Braden Shipley as well. Denard Span has walked twice. He's scored a run. let the finger heal and get kind of a mental health break.
Yeah, you know, get your mechanics straight before coming back out there on the mound to compete against big league teams. And you know, as I mentioned earlier, the real issue is, will it affect something else? You know, you're trying to protect your finger, you're altering your mechanics. Now all of a sudden your elbow starts barking, or your shoulder, or your back. That would give him enough time to, you know, really work on the new mechanics and get comfortable with them, and let that finger heal at the same time.
Well, it's that same thing we saw at Petco Park. Once he scrapes that finger, I mean, that's it. I mean, imagine trying to throw a baseball, precise grip pressure and all that stuff at 95 miles an hour north of that, with 2 giant gashes on your right index finger. 3-1 on Span. Span's walked 5 times in the series, also been hit by a pitch. Tyler Wagner. I told you he fields his position nicely. Nice reaction there, 1 away.
There you go, partner. Yeah, nice quick hands that time. Oh, flashback to the University of Utah playing shortstop. Look at that.
Boy, this no panic whatsoever. Just reaches out, snags it. Now he'll face Joe Panic, who has tapped back to the mound and walked 0 for 1. Well, that wind is really blowing across the outfield right to left. Those flags are flapping. Missed away, 1-0. Look at that. That's candlestick wind right there.
Yeah, it is.
Just need some hot dog wrappers.
I was just thinking that there's a napkin blowing right behind the mound right now over into the first base foul territory. That's how we could tell which way the wind was blowing.
By the trash.
By the trash, yeah. They used to have, you know, the hot dog wrappers and the napkins, and eventually they changed to aluminum foil on the hot dogs because, you know, you'll wad it up in a ball, it's not going to blow across the field. But boy, when I first came up to the big leagues, whew, like playing in the bottom of a dumpster.
Well, there are some that say Candlestick was really just one giant dumpster.
Well, you know what Vin Scully said about it? That's the box that Dodger Stadium came in.
Got the palm trees out there behind left center field. 2-1. Little flare out to Tomas. Did not get a good read on that one. Yasmani a late break, but he's got it. And there are 2 outs in the 5th.
Good recovery right there.
Yeah.
Kind of froze in his tracks, and then with that wind blowing out that way, it pushed it right out to him, able to make that running catch about waist high, coming straight in.
And now Tyler Wagner will work to Hunter Pence, who has struck out and walked. It got up in that wind and blew it right to him. So Hunter Pence had a big offseason there, BB. He proposed to his girlfriend Alexis. Did it at Walt Disney World. Made a whole big production out of it. Had fireworks and a photographer and various guys in suits. Mickey, Goofy, the whole thing. They actually had a film crew over there. They went down for a 3-day trip, and they were pretending to do an interview with the Hunter and Alexis. And in the middle of the fake interview, they asked Hunter Pence, "What's your best Disney moment?" He said, "Right now." He dropped to one knee and popped the question.
How about that?
So it worked out. On the ground is Segura at shortstop. Tyler Wagner looking good. He's got a 3-2 lead through 5.
Every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com. Now, this couldn't be any easier, fans.
Yeah, what?
Just you go online there to papajohns.com. While you're watching the ball game, enter your online order. You get half off. What could be better than that?
David Peralta leads off the 6th against Johnny Cueto. If we could go to the WWW right now, we might have that thing here by the time you get on the bus to go back home. You could eat it on the plane.
Sounds good to me.
Foul ground, and that is playable for Matt Duffy. Peralta 0 for 3, one away. Well, here is Yasmani Tomas, and in his last at bat in the 4th inning, he did this. It's our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game. Il Tanque with some tank-like power. There it goes. First home run given up by Cueto this year.
His 2-homer game in San Diego. One came to the opposite field, one came to center field, but I think that's the best one he's hit so far. He really squared that one up.
Well, Chip Hale was asked a lot about that yesterday and said the coaches are very happy with the progress they're seeing from Yasmani Tomas, because in early BP, I mean, you come out here and watch him, the ball flies off his bat like we just saw. But now they're starting to see that translate into the ball games. You're getting little glimpses of it. We've had it on this road trip. Got under this one just a bit. Shallow right center. Pence coming in. 2 down.
Subtle little move there by Yasmani Tomas. You may have noticed he asked the home plate umpire Pat Hobart for timeout until he could get in the box and get comfortable. We've seen Cueto quick pitch a lot of the Diamondbacks hitters today, and Yasmani said, hey, give me a second here. Let me get in here and get comfortable before he delivers the ball.
I like that. A little counter gamesmanship.
Sure, sure.
Johnny Cueto's been ahead all day, but the Diamondbacks have out-hit the Giants 8-2. Here's Phil Gosselin 0 for 2 so far. This is going to be playable for Belt if he can get there. And he runs it down in the bullpen. So a very quick 1-2-3 6th for Johnny Cueto. Diamondbacks have a 3-2 lead. The Fox Sports Arizona Fan Express, presented by Cox Communications, has returned, baby. And it's a swinging time on this thing. Just to get on board and go to a Diamondback game. Stop by this month's participating Cox Solutions store in Phoenix on Bell Road, and you can enter for a chance to win 2 seats on the Fan Express bus. Round trip transport to the Diamondback game April 30th. As Brandon Belt wants that one foul.
I think he bunted that one off his knuckles.
Yeah.
Shaking out that left hand as he started down the first baseline. As his fingers wrapped around the barrel of the bat. Oh, man, that's the way you break fingers right there.
On to lead off the 6th against rookie right-hander Tyler Wagner, who has retired 5 straight and 8 of 9 on in relief of Shelby Miller.
Brandon Belt calling out the trainer. Couldn't even get a grip on the bat as he tried to get back in the box there.
And boy, this was their concern about a long-term commitment to Brandon Belt, his injury history. That's just been part of his MO here.
Yeah, breaking ball that works inside as he tries to bunt it down the third baseline. You can see he's got his hands wrapped all the way around that bat. And that late movement on that breaking ball got him right on the knuckles.
Well, he's shaking it. There it is again. And he will stay in the game.
This might seem a little heartless, but go right back in there again. The guy's having trouble gripping the bat. If he's having pain in that left hand.
Hey, it's a heartless game, man.
See if you can catch up to a fastball inside.
And the shift is on. They overload the right-hand side, and he gets it up in the air. Deep right center. That wind is blowing in. It'll keep it in the yard for Peralta. He got it up in the wind, but it's blowing in the wrong direction for Brandon Belt.
They tried to come inside, but that ball on a tee for Brandon Belt that time. He thought he got it. Hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark, giving David Peralta just enough room to run it down with a little assist from Mother Nature that time.
Yeah, that wind, it's stayed pretty consistent, blowing in or across the outfield from right to left. It got up in there. So the Diamondbacks get a break there. 1 out for Brandon Crawford, who's 0 for 2. Wagner's now set down 6 in a row. Boy, Brandon Crawford has really veered off course into a slump after he started the year with base hits in his first 5 games. He's hit barely over $1.50. And in this 4-game series, he's got just 1 hit and has struck out 7 times. Tyler Wagner keeps this going. He's going to get a gold star.
Well, his spot is due up 3rd in the top half of the 7th inning, and we know there's a script for the end of ball games when the Diamondbacks have a lead. Hopefully Tyler Wagner can hand that ball to the bullpen with a lead.
Crawford hits it into right center field, a 1-out single. Brings up Angel Pagan. Pagan has twice flied out. Now with 3:39 to start the year, he's got 4 hits in the series.
Well, 3 of those came in the first game of the series, however. He's looked a little funky at the plate the last couple of days. Struck out 3 times the second game of the series.
He's only seen 3 pitches in 2 at-bats here today. There's the strike, 0-1. Pagan likes to hang around at a bait shop around here, PB. He's kind of like you. There's a tackle shop called Highs. You know what that is? About 15 miles from here.
Yeah.
Well, he loves to fish, but it's hard on his back, so sometimes he'll go down there and just hang out and talk to guys about fishing. Well, he was down there on an off day not too long ago, and who walks in the store looking for some bait but Bruce Bochy.
So Bochy goes in there, and who's in there? Pagan's in there on his off day. What are you doing here? Oh, I hang out here all the time. And then Pagan said, hey, you should buy this reel. I mean, Bochy just went in there for some worms or whatever. But Pagan goes, you should take a look at this rod and reel. By the time Pagan got done with Bochy, he had spent so much money, the credit card company called to make sure it was really him. Bochy said, yeah, he got me good.
He got me good.
Dropped about $3 grand in there.
Wow.
On fishing equipment.
That's a good place to go practice your lies. You should have seen the one I caught yesterday, man.
Well, Pagan is in there all the time, so he knows all about this stuff. And he, hey, you need this one. They loaded up the cart with rods and reels and all kinds of stuff. Being careful here. Behind 3 balls and a strike, Duffy, who's 2 for 2, is on deck. He's starting to find his hitting stroke again. Bullpen quiet for the Diamondbacks. And things will get cooking down there. Evan Marshall going to start throwing. Andrew Chafin going to go down there as well. Fouled away, 3-2.
Well, if Chip does have to make a move during the course of this inning, it would seem to be an easy time to make a double switch if he chose to do so. Phil Gosselin made the last out in the 6th inning for the Diamondbacks. Pitcher spot is due up third. Could easily bring Nick Ahmed into the ball game. Maybe Brandon Drury. Make that double switch. Stay away from that pitcher spot.
There's the sheriff, Andrew Chafin. Got a big out last night. 3-2. Crawford takes off, and Pagan hits a flare foul ground near the dugout. Jake Lamb has got it. Out number 2.
Jake battling that sun on the left side. It's still tough for the shortstop, the third baseman, the left fielder, and for the center fielder on a ball hit to the gap in right center. Going to be looking right up into that afternoon sun.
He's on defense there. Starting Mark Reed's back. Reeder, the bullpen catcher, warming up Evan Marshall. I guess if you're going to have somebody oversee things, it should be the sheriff.
Be the sheriff, absolutely.
I asked Andrew about that this morning, by the way. I got an all clear on the sheriff.
Oh, good, good.
Because we were standing there waiting for coffee, and he's wearing his cowboy hat and his cowboy boots, and he's got the mustache, and he looks like Wyatt Earp. And Daniel Hudson was in line with us, and I said, yeah, sheriff. And then Huddy goes, he looks like Alan Jackson. Which is not quite as intimidating as the sheriff. Duffy flies out. A good job by Tyler Wagner to work around the 1-out single. We'll head to the 7th inning. Diamondbacks lead at 3-2.
in San Francisco, where the Diamondbacks lead the Giants 3-2 as we start the 7th inning. Some excellent work out of the bullpen by rookie Tyler Wagner after Shelby Miller had a rough time. And this is what we were talking about with Andrew Chafin. This was a Daniel Hudson call. The sheriff, who looks more like country singer Alan Jackson. But the sheriff just sounds better.
Yeah, I like the sheriff. As long as we're talking about the sheriff, it brings to mind my old joke about Hunter Pence.
Which is?
Hey, the sheriff needs to put together a posse and find the rustlers that stole Hunter Pence's calves.
Got those high pants going again out there in right field. Chris Owings, a beautiful bunt single his last time up. He's 1 for 2. He hits the first pitch right to Crawford. Five in a row set down by Cueto. And here's the catcher, Chris Herman. And as of this moment, looks like Tyler Wagner is going to take the at-bat. He's coming out in the on-deck circle. Johnny Cueto, how about that? He's been in the strike zone all day here. Herman has flied out and struck out 0 for 2. And this young man has done a tremendous job today. Diamondbacks on an airplane right after this ball game. A 10-game homestand starts tomorrow night. 3 against the Pirates. Get your tickets, fans. dbacks.com. A nice long run of home games after we've been. It feels like we've been gone for a month.
Oh man, these 4-game series at the end of a road trip are just cruel and unusual punishment.
I get you. Along the left field line, foul ground. Duffy near the bullpen, and he runs it down.
I can just hear people at home saying, "You're complaining about spending 4 days in San Francisco. Shut up."
Well, there is that. they're not wrong.
Yeah. It's just the 4th game. You know, ball players and broadcasters, for that matter, are so programmed. 3 games, move on. 3 games, move on. That 4th game just kind of throws a monkey wrench into everything.
I hate those monkey wrenches.
Yeah.
Tyler Wagner. A little too hopper right to panic. Boy, Cueto's got it going now. That's 7 straight he set down, but we stretch in San Francisco, and the Diamondbacks still have a 3-2 lead.
On top of the dugout, bottom 7. And the Diamondbacks lead the Giants 3-2, going for the 4-game sweep. And Tyler Wagner on an emergency long relief for Shelby Miller has done a tremendous job right here. The Gig Life high-speed highlights presented by Cox. Long relief. He has set down 11 of the 13 he's faced. He's given up just 2 singles.
Boy, just what the doctor ordered. Another short outing by Shelby Miller today. Somebody needed to step up and eat up some innings, and Tyler Wagner answered the call.
And they'll try and get one more inning out of him. The bullpen is quiet now. Trevor Brown, Johnny Cueto, and Denard Span, 8, 9, and 1 in the San Francisco 7. Cueto is out in the on-deck circle, and there is no one throwing in the Giant bullpen. Wagner so far 51 pitches, 31 strikes. Brown 0 for 2. Oh and 2, jumps ahead quickly.
Boy, that's a good sequence there. The first slider was right in the middle of the plate. The second one was on the outside corner for strike 2, and then he tried to throw another one off the plate away to see if he could get Trevor Brown to chase. Good command of that breaking pitch.
Evan Marshall going to start warming up again. Tyler Wagner came on in the 3rd inning with nobody out, after Shelby Miller walked 4 straight batters in that 3rd. So he inherited a bases loaded, nobody out mess. Immediately got Belt to hit into a double play ball, a run scored. And then got Crawford to ground out to really put out the fire. And since then he's given up only 2 singles. There's a pop up. Shortstop Segura fighting that sun. 1 away. And now Cueto will be recalled. He'll head back to the Giant dugout. His day's over. And we'll get a look at Gregor Blanco. Blanco 4 for 18 to start the year. He got the start last night in right field. Had a couple of hits, including a triple. And the Giant bullpen springs into action. Hunter Strickland, the right-hander, warming up down there. And Josh Osich, the left-hander. Here's Mike Butcher. Evan Marshall warming up for the Diamondbacks. So Johnny Cueto, who has won every start he's made this year, 3-0 in 3 starts, leaves this one down 3-2. And now it's up to the Diamondback bullpen. Wagner has done a tremendous job. And they should be in pretty good shape back there. Giants bullpen busy. Delgado, Marshall, Hudson all had the night off last night. Tyler Clippard has worked the last 2 games of this series. Brad Ziegler got the save last night after getting Tuesday off, but he's worked a lot lately. It's a little nubber right to Goldie. Wagner's over there, but Goldie's got it. 2 outs. Denard Span has walked twice and scored a run. He's 0 for 1.
Or that get-ahead breaking ball. That's been a good weapon for Tyler Wagner in this inning.
Trying to complete his 5th inning of relief. And about to throw pitch number 60. Two and one. Tyler Wagner, 25-year-old right-hander, acquired by the Diamondbacks in the offseason from the Brewers in the deal that sent Aaron Hill and Chase Anderson to Milwaukee. And there's another ground ball. Goldie has it. Wagner's there. Tyler Wagner gets through 7. He retired 14 of the 16 he faced, and he's kept it a 3-2 lead.
Follow Arizona Diamondbacks baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet.
D-backs looking for their first ever 4-game sweep of the Giants here at AT&T Park. They are 6 outs away. They lead it 3-2. New pitcher for the Giants, it's the right-hander Hunter Strickland, who worked in the first 2 games of this series. His 8th appearance of the year, a 4.26 ERA. Top of the order up for the D-backs, Segura, Lamb, Goldie, 1-2-3.
Yeah, Strickland in game 1 of this series pitched an inning, gave up 3 hits and 2 runs in that ball game, but bounced back nicely in his next outing. Struck out a batter in 1 inning. Zeros otherwise across the board.
Gene Segura 2 for 3, couple of singles. He has scored a run. Daniel Hudson has started warming up with the Diamondback bullpen. Strickland throws hard, a ball and a strike.
Some low fog right there at the knees, right at the outside corner. Nearly an unhittable strike.
Well, there's another one.
His velocities have gone 95, 96, 97.
What are you saying?
I don't know.
How about that location, too? That's pretty much unhittable.
That's wicked.
He reaches out and taps it to Joe Panic. One away. Brings up Jake Lamb, who's done more Jake Lamb things in this ball game. 2 for 3. A single and a double. He has stolen a base and scored a run.
And put on a sliding clinic
on how not to do it. But boy, what a road trip it's been. He's got 7 hits in the series, 6 of them for extra bases. 4 doubles, a triple, a home run. And Jake has now hit safely in 5 straight games. Right to Panic. They retire Lamb. 2 down in the 8th, and here's Goldie. Goldie, who's had a slow road trip, has picked it up right away here. Started us off in the first, an RBI double after Segura led off with a single in the first. And then this RBI to end the third. He was thrown out on the bases trying to make sure that Jake Lamb could complete that artistic slide. And into the inning, but it was another Diamondback run. They led it 2-0. So Goldie 2 for 3, 2 RBIs. And it's 1-0. Diamondbacks bats have gone quiet, though. Remember, Lamb hit that double to center in the 5th. That was the last D-backs hit. As Giants pitchers, Cueto and Strickland have retired the last 9 Diamondbacks. Tyler Wagner has done a tremendous job. Gave them 3 outs for 5 innings. Gave up just 2 hits, both singles. 1-2 on Paul Goldschmidt. Giants in the home half of the 8th will have 2, 3, and 4. Panic, Pence, and Brandon Belts. Keep in mind, Buster Posey did not start the game today, so he's down there on Bruce Bochy's bench as well. He's already used Blanco. Lays off a close one at 96, 2-2.
That's good to see. We've seen Paul Goldschmidt chase a couple of 2-strike pitches just off the plate like that in this series. Better eye that time.
Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming up. Full count, 3-2. He missed at 96. Peralta on deck. He's 0 for 3. Ball 4. That is Goldie's 8th base on balls on this road trip, so he's not exactly been hitting the way we're normally used to seeing, but he's for the most part stayed patient. Pitching change for the Giants back in a moment. Diamondbacks have a 3-2 lead. Hey fans, catch the D-backs and the Cardinals at Chase Field next week, April 25th through the 28th. You can get a lower level ticket, a Subway sandwich, and a Pepsi for only $25. For tickets, visit dbacks.com. Got a big homestand coming up. Get the popcorn ready. 3 against the Pirates, 4 against the Cardinals, and 3 against the Rockies. A nice long homestand. dbacks.com/tickets, and we'll see you there tomorrow night for the first of 3 against the Buccos. Here is the left-hander, Josh Osich, to face David Peralta, who's 0 for 3. Goldie at first, 2 down. He worked last night through 5 pitches. Got Peralta, actually hit Peralta in the arm. This is Osich who hit Peralta in that forearm with that, 96, 98 mile an hour fastball.
He's lucky he didn't take it in the face. That ball was running up and in. David at the last second kind of threw up his right arm in self-defense, and it took it off the forearm.
Yeah, up here you just heard a thud. But last night he hit Peralta, then got Nick Ahmed to ground into a 6-4-3 to win the 9th. Daniel Hudson set to go in the Diamondback bullpen. He's just down there waiting for a bus. Corey Guerin has started throwing, the right-hander for the Giants. He hit him again, and Peralta stares out to the mound. Pat Hoberg, the plate umpire, and the benches are empty. He hit him last night, and he hit him again today. It almost did look like the same spot. And they're trying to cool David Peralta down.
This has been a hot topic around baseball, guys, with the inability to pitch inside and just thump guys repeatedly. You have to be able to command that inside part of the plate, not knock guys down and hit them.
And David is going to take his base, and everybody goes back to the dugouts. And hopefully that's about as ugly as it gets. The umpires will gather here. Bill Miller, the crew chief, who's come over from third, will get his group together.
Unfortunately, David started to walk toward the mound. The umpires could conceivably view that as trying to initiate something there.
Bruce Bochy out with his pitcher on the mound.
I think he's going to take him out anyway and bring in the right-hander Guerin.
Yeah, there's Manny Tomas coming up. And Miller has signaled for the new Giant pitcher. And both benches have been worn by Pat Hoberg, the plate umpire. This was last night. Watch where Peralta gets it right in the arm with a hard fastball. Looked like it hit him on the top of the forearm. But he was back in the game today. That was the 9th inning last night. Now here's today.
See that move right there by David. The umpires could conceivably construe that as trying to initiate something, trying to charge the mound. Hopefully not. Looks like David's going to stay in the ball game, take his base down there at first. Now we're going to see plenty of these guys this year. This is not the time to get involved in something like that.
But for David, with the same pitcher, that's twice in less than 24 hours. And he looks to be okay. That's the important thing. But the D-backs now with a 1-run lead in the 8th inning have 2 on and 2 out for Tomas, who hit a long home run back in the 4th. keep it right here and take a look at the new pitcher for the Giants. This is the right-hander Corey Guerin. And we've seen him earlier in this series. It was back on Monday, in fact. He worked 2 innings through 20 pitches. And this is the guy that leans against the lamppost, right?
Yeah, this is the guy that Dave McKay said they thought they could run on him, and Gene Segura did steal a base in that game. Probably doesn't figure to be a running situation here with runners at first and second, but we'll see how the Diamondbacks want to play it.
Well, this is a big game for the Diamondbacks. They want to keep this thing going. They've won 4 straight, 5 of 6. They're back at 500 after a rough 2-5 start. Tyler Wagner has been sensational with 5 innings of long relief. And if they could give Daniel Hudson a pad run or 2 for the bottom of the 8th inning, they will certainly take it. Tomas 1 for 3 as he steps in. He's got Goldie at second, Peralta at first, and 2 outs. Tomas's homer off Johnny Cueto, his 3rd on this road trip. And he has now hit safely in 7 straight. Down the left field line, but foul.
I mean, certainly that bodes well for Yasmani Tomas if he can continue to swing the bat the way he has on this road trip. These are 3 of the most pitcher-friendly ballparks in baseball. This was back in the 4th inning against Johnny Cueto. Boom. Boom is right.
He lines it to left. Pagan runs it down. And Guerin strands 2. Bottom 8. Diamondbacks holding on to a 3-2 lead.
Though today 3-2, D-backs lead here, bottom of the 8th, and Daniel actually did a little redecorating, guys, in the dugout today. You know, they don't have the bullpen here, but they've made a tape strip here. Daniel put this down, and it says bullpen on it, and they've been, for the most part, staying in that space and the other guys on their side, but, you know, I guess they just needed to have their own area. I don't know. I mean, Daniel having a little fun there.
Well, they're all down there. I guess it's a feng shui kind of a deal or something. So here we go. Huddy on with a 1-run lead, bottom 8. He'll work to Paddock, Pence, and Belt. 2, 3, and 4 for the Giants. Paddock walked in the 3rd. He's 0 for 2. The numbers on Daniel Hudson to start this season. Scoreless baseball in 5 of the 6 appearances this year. .95 right by him, 1-1. Giants today with only 3 hits. Foul down the right field line, a ball and 2 strikes. Off the fist, shallow left center. Who's going to run it down? Yasmani is there. 1 away.
Little floater looked like it was going to be trouble. Gene Segura sprinting straight back into left center field, but Yasmani comes in, calls him off, makes the play. Nicely done. Watch out, Gene.
He's trying to get the heck out of there. Got a tank about to run him down. 1 away for Pence. He has struck out, walked, and grounded out. 0 for 2. Right there at 96, 0-2.
We were talking about those unhittable strikes earlier. That was one right there to Hunter Pence. 96, bottom of the kneecaps, outside corner.
Missed up that time, 1-2.
Another good fastball. That time Pence just able to get a piece of it.
Pumped it up to 97 that time. Reaches out and taps it to Gosselin at second. 2 outs. Here's Brandon Belt.
Belt narrowly missed a home run his last time up. You may recall he tried to bunt for a base hit and took it off his left knuckles. Took a long time with the Giants trainer before he could regroup and got back in the box and promptly hit a ball about 410 feet out to Triple's alley that was caught by David Peralta.
Just hung up there in that wind. Sends it the other way. It backs up Tomas. He's got room. And Daniel Hudson works a 1-2-3-8. We go to the ninth. D-backs trying to hang on and sweep.
Hey, D-backs fans, if you can't watch games on TV, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store and download the free Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the D-backs wherever you go.
Well, this ballpark opened up in 2000, and only one time has the opposition ever swept a 4-game series against the Giants. That was the Cincinnati Reds in June of 2014. The D-backs flag above the Giants flag and trying to raise even higher here. Ideally, you'd pad the 3-2 lead as we start the ninth inning. Phil Gosselin leads it off. He's 0 for 3. Brad Ziegler will get the ninth. Corey Guerin back out there for the Giants, and there's ball 1.
If you watch Corey Guerin out there on the mound, we talked about Dave McKay trying to pick up something on every opposing pitcher that they can use to their advantage. He starts to drift ever so slightly before picking up that front leg. I think that's what the Diamondbacks base runners are able to read over there at first base.
Two and 1. It's almost like he's leaning against a wall or something out in front of the 7-Eleven. In there for a strike, 2 and 2. Gosselin, Owings, and Herman due up in the Diamondback ninth, 6, 7, and 8 against Corey Guerin.
You know, as a manager and a coaching staff, a lot of your day before the ball game and before batting practice is spent in that video room looking for things. And you know, Dave McKay has looked at every one of these Giants pitchers, and you break it down frame by frame by frame. And I used to always have to ask Craig Counsell, listen, when you get on base, see if you can see this, because when you're breaking it down frame by frame on the video, it's one thing, but when you're out there doing it at game speed, it's a completely different story. So sometimes things that you see on tape don't always show up on the field.
But I imagine once you identify it down on the field, then all bets are off.
Oh, yeah. Off to the races.
Well, Gosselin, who came in with 6 hits in his last 10 at bats, but is 0 for 3 so far, battling here on 2-2. Shoots this one out to right field for Hunter Pence. It's up in that wind, but Pence runs it down, 1 away. Chris Owings now. CO back in the 4th had an absolutely perfect textbook bunt for a base hit that just died on the edge of the grass, with Matt Duffy playing back at 3rd. He's got 5 hits in the series.
And the Diamondbacks are going to need Chris Owings to provide some offense. You know, with Socrates Brito back at AAA, Chris figures to get the bulk of the playing time in center field, and certainly wouldn't hurt anything to get a hot bat down at the bottom of that order.
Base hit for Owings. Bangs it into right, a 1-out single. CO today, 2 for 4. That is his 3rd multi-hit game in this series.
And we speculated that maybe with Brito going down to AAA and CO knowing he's going to get a lot of playing time in center field, maybe that helped him relax a little bit, realize he's going to get his 4 or 5 at bats every day. Whatever the reason, he's had a nice series here in San Francisco.
Well, here's the catcher, Chris Herman, who is 0 for 3 and 1 for 20 to start the year. Pitcher spot is up next, and Ricky Weeks Jr. is in the on-deck circle. Brad Ziegler warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. An extra run would loom awfully large right here. Trying to close out a 4-game sweep. Ball 1 to Chris Herman. Andrew Chafin, he's got Mark Reed's back. Reed, the bullpen catcher down there, is warming up Brad Ziegler. Somebody has to play goalie in case there's a foul ball. You know, since they forgot to put in bullpens and everything.
Minor detail. And player parking for that matter. They forgot that as well.
And some sort of seagull defense system for when the birds eventually rise up and overtake us. Boy, Chris Owings got a great jump, and he is in there easily. CO flies into second with his 2nd stolen base this year. He had that one all the way.
Well, that's going to be problematic for Guerin and the Giants the rest of the year. That's one of those little ticks in a delivery that you better fix it, or you're going to turn this game into a track meet.
Looked like the 100-yard dash, or in this case, the 90-foot dash right there. So a pad run in scoring position, 1 out, and a 2-0 count on Chris Herman with Ricky Weeks Jr. on deck. Crawford sneaking in there at second. Herman takes outside, and it's a ball, 3-0. And the way Ricky Weeks has been banging the ball around lately, I wouldn't mind seeing him get a shot at Guerin here with 2 on and 1 out. There's a strike. Sorta.
3-0 automatic strike.
Let's see.
A little tailing action. Might have caught that corner.
Close enough. Just a bit outside. There's the walk. And the D-backs have something going here. 2 on, 1 out for Ricky Weeks Jr. And Ricky 3 for 10 to start the year. Couple of doubles and an RBI. He's been a very good pinch hitter. And he'll get a chance to pad that lead. Tell you what, you watch Ricky Weeks take BP. He'll be hitting batting practice home runs when he's 60. I mean, this guy still clubs the ball. And they're not cheap. They're halfway up. Owings at second, Herman at first. 1 out.
The Diamondbacks base runners obviously have Guerin a little concerned out there on the mound. This is when you will occasionally make a mistake on that guy at the plate.
That'll work. That'll work. Ricky Weeks, I can tell you this, won't miss it. Panic just kind of hanging around a second base bag. CO inching toward third. Here it is. In there for strike 1. Ricky Weeks earned his roster spot. He hit over .430 in spring training with a couple of home runs. A veteran bat off the bench for Chip Hale. Ball 1.
Just judging by the way Chris Owings has taken his lead out there at second base, I think he'd like to steal third. He's trying to get out there and get a jump, but as you mentioned, Panic keeps sneaking over there closer to the bag, and Chris has no choice but to hold his lead.
CO's awfully fidgety down there. Panic has to go back to his second base spot, and then Guerin steps off.
Well, that same little drift that Guerin had when CO was on over at first, he's doing with him at second base. You can see it clearly.
One pitch. There goes Owings. There goes Herman. It's a double steal. They're in there. It's a strike to Weeks and a 1-2 count. But there are 2 big runs in scoring position.
You might say Chris Owings steals third, but I prefer to say the catcher, Chris Herman, steals second.
The first of the year for Herman, and the third for Owings. Now second and third. 1 out, 1-2 on Ricky Weeks Jr. A bouncer to third. Duffy coming home. And CO is in there. Herman takes third, and it's 4-2. They don't have the baseball. And Ricky Weeks will jog into second. Trevor Brown forgot to pick it up. And Gene Segura, the on-deck man, was standing right behind the ball, waving Weeks to second. And there's a pad run.
Chris Owings off on contact. That ball on 2 hops down there to third. I think CO was in safely anyway, but Brown lost the ball and had no idea where it was. He's looking around, looking around. You see Gene Segura and Chris Owings.
They're trying to get Ricky Weeks' attention. So it's 4-2. And the Giants infield comes in again. Still second and third, 1 out. And the batter is Segura, who's 2 for 4. That's a fielder's choice and an RBI. And E2 on the catcher, Brown, allowing Weeks to get to second. Fly ball, right field. Pence backing up. It's in that wind. It's at the track and off the wall. And here we go. Herman scores. Weeks scores. And Segura's in at third. 6-2 D-backs. Just kept carrying and carrying over the head of Hunter Pence in right.
That ball had a chance off the bat. Pence got back there really close to the wall this time. And the bricks made him pay. That ball ricocheted way back toward the infield. That'll score everybody easily. And Gene Segura ends up at third base with a triple.
And that's it for Corey Guerin. The Diamondbacks, looking for the 4-game sweep, have a 4-run lead in the 9th. Diamondbacks now with 10 hits. They've opened up a 4-run lead in the 9th inning. And the new pitcher for the Giants, it's the left-hander, just called up from AAA last week, Stephen Okert. Jake Lamb is the hitter. And he takes ball 1 with Segura at third. Still only 1 out. And 3 runs in for the Diamondbacks. Segura 3 for 5. 2 singles and a triple now. D-backs looking for that 4-game sweep. They would make some history.
And with the 6 runs in the ball game today, that's 1 more than you need to get 3 crunchy beef tacos at Taco Bell at participating locations with the purchase of a large drink tomorrow. Fast food trifecta if the Diamondbacks can hang on.
That's your dream.
It is.
Yasmani Tomas provided the jumbo jack in the 4th with a long home run off Johnny Cueto. We've got enough runs for tacos, and if we can hang on here, we'll get you the pizza for half off, and everybody will be fat and happy tomorrow.
Indeed.
3-0 on Lamb. Infield in on the grass, Goldie on deck. Things are getting ugly in San Francisco. They've already lost 4 in a row and 7 of their last 8. On the verge of being swept here at home in a 4-game series for just the second time in the history of this ballpark, which was built in 2000. So they're on the corners with 1 out for Goldie. Jake Lamb on board for the 3rd time today. Goldie an RBI double in the 1st. RBI single in the 3rd. He walked his last time up. He's 2 for 3. Brad Ziegler has stopped warming up in the D-back bullpen. He has worked a lot on this road trip. And Evan Marshall is back up and throwing for the Diamondbacks. Looks like he'll get the 9th. So they got a Sheriff and a Marshall down there.
And a deputy. There's the Sheriff. As you pointed out, there's the Marshal.
Getting awfully interesting in this National League West. Dodgers behind Clayton Kershaw, 1 in Atlanta today, 2-1. On the ground to Crawford. Panic for 1, and they turn 2. But the Diamondbacks get 3. They are 3 outs away from a 4-game sweep in San Francisco. Gene Segura goes the other way off the wall in right for 2 more. Bottom 9 on the way. 6-2 D-backs. The River game summary. The Diamondbacks up against Johnny Cueto turned it enough offense to take a 3-2 lead into the 9th, and then they added 3 against the Giant bullpen. Shelby Miller had to leave the game early after he walked 4 consecutive batters in the 3rd inning. He appeared to scrape his hand once again on the mound, but Tyler Wagner came in and he was outstanding. 5 innings of 2-hit long relief. And he has put the D-backs in position to win the ball game and get the 4-game sweep. Evan Marshall on for the 9th. Wagner in line for his first major league win. It'll be Crawford, Pagan, Duffy 5, 6, and 7 in the Giant 9th. Defensive changes behind Evan Marshall. Gene Segura moves from shortstop to second base. He replaces Phil Gosselin. And the new shortstop is Nick Ahmed. Ahmed will hit 6th. Crawford singled in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. He has just 2 hits in the series. 3-1. Evan Marshall's third appearance since his recall from AAA Reno. Back on the 17th so far, just one hit and a walk. Seagulls are waiting their turn. It's a leadoff walk. Giants still have only 3 hits, all singles. D-backs pitchers have issued 6 bases on balls in the ballgame. 4 by Shelby Miller in a row in that third inning after he scraped his finger. We believe he scraped his finger. We shouldn't say that with absolute certainty until we talk to Shelby after the ballgame. Here's Mike Busher, but it sure looked like he got his finger again on that mound.
Brad Ziegler continuing just to toss down there in the Diamondbacks bullpen, staying ready just in case things starts to slip away here. Certainly a leadoff walk is not what you like in the 9th inning, holding a 4-run lead.
Well, the Crawford walk is only the Giants' 3rd base runner since the 3rd inning. They have not had a runner pass first base since that 3rd, when Miller walked 4 in a row, but Wagner got them out of it with 2 ground balls. Pagan 0 for 3. Double play ball. Segura, Ahmed, Goldie, they roll it. 2 down.
I love the reaction of the Giants fans sitting right down in front of our booth. As soon as that ball was put into play, somebody screamed, "Oh no!" Double play ball, pitcher's best friend.
So the D-backs are 1 out away from a 4-game sweep, and the batter is Matt Duffy. Don't forget, fans, long homestand coming up. 3 against the Pirates, 4 against the Cardinals, 3 more against the Rockies. It all starts tomorrow night at Chase Field. dbacks.com/tickets, as this train is rolling. So we'll see you at the ballpark tomorrow night all weekend long. A.J. Pollock bobblehead day is Saturday, don't forget. Some good teams coming in here. Some of the best in the NL Central. And then another shot at those Rockies.
Pirates play tonight down in San Diego. Diamondbacks will actually beat them into town. A lot of times the visiting team gets there before we do from a road trip.
2-1. The score holds up. The Diamondbacks will have won 12 of their last 14 games in this ballpark. Nick Ahmed, the backhander at shortstop, long throw, and there it is. The Diamondbacks sweep the Giants, their first ever 4-game sweep here at AT&T Park. And they finish a long 10-game road trip through the NL West, 7-3. They've won 5 straight, and now we head home. A game over.